Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the Inner Child series on Natalie Inspires You. Thank you to those who watched part 1 and appreciated my work, and also to those who reached out to me to discuss this topic further. Now, if you plan on watching this video, you need to watch part 1 and complete the meditation. Then today's video will make sense to you, since it is a 3-part series that is interconnected. If you do remember, in part 1, we covered what and who is the inner child. We also learned how to connect with your inner child with the help of a meditation. Part 2 is about the benefits of connecting with your inner child, and also a few steps on how to heal your inner child. It may sometimes seem very funny to actually talk to your inner child or to be a parent to your inner child. But it is very important that we do so, because the benefits are immense. When you connect with your inner child, what you are actually doing is working towards bringing you and your inner child together as one. You and your inner child now are working as a team. And in this process, you are that strong and firm parent, but yet a very compassionate one, who is only educating your inner child to face today in a better way. You will also learn to love, accept, and approve of yourself by taking better care of yourself, by just listening to the voice of your inner child, who's just asking you to love and accept her. This journey also gives you access to feelings and emotions that could have been bottled up for years. It's an opportunity now to learn how to address and perhaps even heal them. It is also a process that teaches you how to set boundaries with people, something that I believe is very important today. This journey will help you to improve your self-confidence. And just think about it. Okay, let me ask you to just close your eyes and visualize as I speak. Imagine yourself carrying a heavy load on your back for so long, and now suddenly it just becomes lighter, or you have put the load down and it is not there anymore. How do you feel? Well, you will definitely feel lighter and be able to enjoy life and have fun all over again. So these are just a few benefits that I've shared with you. Honestly, there are so many more benefits of connecting with your inner child. And if it was up to me, I'd call this journey with the inner child a golden journey. So be blessed to know that you have embarked on one. Before I move on to steps on how to heal your inner child, I'd like to share that working with the inner child should not be about bringing up things that your parents and caregivers did wrong. It should not be a process of getting upset or angry with them. Yes, you might spend time letting your inner child get upset or irritated with them, but these emotions need to be processed today and should be addressed keeping in mind that you no longer are a child, and that we are all not perfect, not me, not you, and we all make mistakes. We should operate now from a point and place of trusting and believing that they did their best at that time for that purpose. This journey should be one about love, acceptance, and healing. Yes, love, acceptance, and healing. And I repeated that because it is of prime importance. Let's embark on this journey with love, acceptance, and healing. Moving to steps on healing your inner child. When connecting with your inner child, it is very important that you accept and honor your inner child. Every one of us has one. And the aim of this journey is not to remove or to get rid of the inner child, but to love and accept her and teach her new ways, educate her, provide her with some tools and some tips on how to handle situations differently now as an adult. As I've said before, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes, and that's how human beings are. But becoming aware and accepting with love and not judgment is one of the first steps in the journey of healing the inner child. Keep in mind that we are looking at and connecting with our inner child now as adults. And today we have a different level of maturity. We face more experiences, more life situations. We also have a better understanding of ourselves, of people, and the world as compared to when we were little children. Look out for signals, flags, feelings, red light emotions, and use them as a way to recognize that perhaps something needs to be addressed. For example, look out for outbursts, look out for tantrums, shutting out, irritation, signs of discomfort when you are faced with handling a situation today. Replace your thoughts, your words of I feel with I think, I choose, I believe. So, for example, instead of saying I feel upset, I feel anxious, what you can say is I believe I'm upset, I think I'm anxious. Then ask yourself, why do you think you are anxious? Why do you think you're upset? And this is when you are speaking to your inner child rather than focusing on your feelings. And from this place, it is much easier to heal. Now, once your focus is on your inner child, check with your inner child. What does she need? What is it that she actually wants? Does she want to be understood, loved? Does she not want to be judged? Once you identify that, you can then bring to mind the various choices you have in front of you today to address that situation. Not just the same choice you had when you were a child. Do you get what I'm saying? Then finally make that shift in your thoughts and actions and address the situation today using the new choices you have in front of you. I'll share with you an example and show you how you can apply these 5 tips of healing your inner child. If you remember in part 1, I had requested you to write down a situation that we would address in part 2 and learn how to heal your inner child in that particular situation. And if you remember, my situation was one of where a staff personnel in school had spoken to me rudely, and her words still ring in my head sometimes in particular situations that come up. So if I remember correctly, I was in grade 5, I think, when this incident happened. And all that I had to do was just pass on an envelope which contained some money for a payment to the school. It was very neatly sealed with my details written on the envelope. And so I excused myself from the class and I moved to the school office, which was, the school campus was quite big. We had the primary, we had the middle school, and we had the high school. And to get to the middle school to the high school was at least like say a 7-minute walk, and I was on the 3rd floor. When I went to the office and handed over the envelope to the staff personnel, she looked so confused, and she opened up a file. It appeared that she was not in a good mood anyway. She opened up a file and she kept trying to search for my name. And she looked at me and said, "Oh, I can't find your details of last year." And I had no clue of what was going on. To me, I was just like a postman passing the envelope from my mother to school. And she kept on taking out a few files, and she said, "Oh, I cannot find your details, and where are your details?" And I was just stunned, and of course I started getting scared, and I didn't want to say anything, so I was just keeping quiet and shaking my head and saying, "I don't know." And then she got so upset, and she used some very harsh words like cheat and you're disorganized, and I can't even tell you, it seemed like a very rude and uncomfortable situation for me. And then she just takes out a form and slams it on the desk and says, "Okay, fill it up." And I had not carried a pen with me, for some reason. So I said, "May I have a pen?" And the pen was lying at the side of her. But she said, "No, get back to your class and go and get the pen." And to go to my class, I had to walk quite a bit, probably 7 minutes, and I had to climb up 3 floors. And at that age, I did have a wheezing problem, okay? So, and on that particular time, I was a bit not up to the mark. So I had to leave that office and go all the way back to my class, and I can still imagine myself breathing heavily. I could feel the wheeze, while I was walking up just to get a pen. Anyway, I took the pen and went back. By the time I've gone back, things seem to have gotten back to normal. She seemed okay. And for some reason, I think she found my records. And then she just said, okay, okay, okay. And she took the envelope and she let me go. But that particular incident had such an effect on me. Like, till recent years, anytime there was a payment to be made, I was always wanting to make it way before time. I would start getting anxious, even though I've not even reached the due date, for example. And an uncomfortable feeling would set up, and I didn't like those situations. But in healing my inner child, I have now started reminding myself that I have new choices in front of me. I am not that little girl who's scared, who wanted to just be understood, at that point in time. I am a mature adult now, and I can handle the same kind of situation differently. I can just wait up till the due date and pay it. I can always write in an email and, use the grace period. But today, I know that I have so many choices in front of me. I am not that scared girl anymore who did not know how to answer that staff personnel. I am not that girl who stood there confused and wondering what is she talking about. And so I'm going to use the choices that I have in front of me to address this situation. In fact, I already have. And I'm going to work a lot on this. And by using these steps of healing my inner child, I'm confident that I will overcome this particular situation and handle it better, handle it with a lot of love and healing. So I invite you to spend some time and do the same with your situation that you have noted down. Apply the 5 steps of healing your inner child now to your situation. Let me just sum up today's session. You and your inner child are now a team. It is important to connect with your inner child because the benefits are immense. And this journey is all about love, acceptance, and healing. Use the 5 steps to address a situation that requires you to heal your inner child. Connect with your inner child often. And you can use the meditation that I shared in part 1. And the more you connect with your inner child, you will see that this process gets easier and better. And that brings us to an end of part 2. Now a little bit about part 3. We're going to end this series on a very creative note. So for our next session, you will need the following. Okay, a blank sheet of paper, colored sheet or card paper, colors, crayons or paints. And let me end part 2 by sending you peace as you embark on this golden journey. And I will continue to uphold you in my prayers. See you next week. Till then, stay connected, stay inspired.